Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are trying something new. It is not going to be a gameplay video, and also, as you can see me. I can't see you, but you can see me, so that's exciting. Got a webcam that's pretty cool, and you see, it just did a zoom in too, which is really cool, and a zoom out. Um, but anyways, enough about the webcam. Let's get right into the video. So this is going to be about the whole big Xbox thing. I feel like there's always some crazy news going on with Xbox. You typically bad news, and in this case, it's to me, it's not great news. Um, Now, before I get really into what happened yesterday, I just want to give a context of what Xbox has meant to me over these years. Uh, Starting as a kid, like I grew up on the 360. I grew up playing Gears of War 1. I grew up playing Halo 3, um, Call of Duty 4. Like, that's not an exclusive, but some of these, Crackdown, shout out to Crackdown 1 and 2. Um, but, some really good Xbox exclusives. And growing up on those, I met like some of my best friends that I still talk to today. We're real close. So they just happen to live in the same state, like less than an hour away from me. It blew my mind, but yeah, I mean, so growing up on the 360, I made like some really good relationships with people, and um, those were great days. Like growing up on the 360, the multiplayer was awesome. I mean, come on, let's like going back to the days of like shit talking and I mean, I must have been like 8, 9, 10 years old. I must have been so annoying, but like, that's just how it was. We were little kids playing multiplayer games with a bunch of other little kids or adults, and it was good. It was a great time, and I got a lot of fun out of it, and it was great. Now, of course, after the 360, I moved on to the Xbox One, and I was a little late to the party. I was like maybe 6 months, 4 or 5, 6 months late to the Xbox One coming out. And I remember it being pretty poorly received when it first came out because I think it was going in the wrong direction, especially with like they were trying to include like TV and like a DVR into the Xbox One, and uh, that's around the time when Phil Spencer came in as CEO, and he started focusing Xbox back into like their core services and got rid of all the junk, right? But then about midway through the Xbox One, I think my friends and I kind of saw the writing on the wall in the sense that their exclusives weren't as good and they were taking forever to come out. And if we're comparing their exclusives to, let's say, PlayStation or Nintendo's, their biggest competitors, they really sucked. Um, so I'd say the midpoint in the Xbox One's life, I made the decision to start moving my library over to PC. And then at at a later date, they came out with Game Pass, and they were like announcing that they were going to start moving more games or making crossplay more available on their exclusives. So, it was like a good time for me to like, okay, let's start transitioning over to PC because I can still play like some of the games through crossplay with my friends on Xbox. Now, as I started coming over, my buddies also started to come over slowly over to PC. But, I started out, I got Game Pass Ultimate so that way I can play both my Xbox and then my PC. I had the Game Pass library on both. And of course, the crossplay was awesome. But just over the years, I feel like the exclusives just got worse. They took longer to come out, and you know, almost felt like slightly left out with like some of these Nintendo games and PlayStation games that are coming out that were supposedly like fantastic, fantastic. And I would find out at a later date they are, and I'll get to that. But yeah, so about yeah, so as soon as Xbox announced that the price increase on Game Pass was going up, is when I actually completely got rid of Game Pass. So I no longer have Game Pass at all. I went from having Game Pass Ultimate to then eventually to Game Pass PC only. And then now, after the latest increase, I decided, all right, time to cut out all ties because there's just nothing there for me anymore. Like the games I have in Game Pass weren't like anything I wanted to play, or if it was something I wanted to play, I'd buy it on Steam. That way I can play it on my Steam Deck, or it was just kind of like a better way for me to support the developer if the game was good, rather than just shelling out money to Xbox and their Game Pass service. So yeah, I got rid of Game Pass after that latest increase, and that cut the last tie. That cut the last tie I had with Xbox, and I still follow like the news with Xbox and stuff, and it's usually, like I said, it's not great news. It's pretty bad news, and of course here we can see, this happened This happened just yesterday, where Phil Spencer, I think he might have announced it earlier, but he's retiring now. Phil Spencer's gone, and he was the reason really why Xbox came around earlier in the Xbox One generation. But I think he's kind of fumbled the bag now. I think he put his focus in like the wrong places, or it just hasn't been motivating their teams there because they're just not putting out enough good games in a timely manner. And then they're focusing on things like Xbox cloud gaming. Now maybe that's just not for me, and maybe there is a market for it. And that's fine. But it's just for me as a serious gamer now, it's doesn't make sense to have cloud gaming. Maybe for like a younger generation, that needs like a cheaper service, but can still play like AAA games. And yeah, maybe that's right for them, but not for me. And that's completely fine. But yeah, so that was I feel like that was that's not the best step in the right direction for them. And then on top of this, not only did Phil Spencer announce his retirement, Sarah Bond, who's another really high up executive at Xbox Studios, is also leaving. And she announced it like the same day. She was like, "Oh, I'm going on to a different, beginning a new chapter." And it was, to me, it's like, I don't know, that doesn't seem good. Two big high up executives at Xbox the same day, either retiring or quitting something. That just doesn't seem like a good, that doesn't seem great for the management there. And then on top of that, I think this makes it worse because I feel like AI still has a stigmatism that it's like most of it's just slop. It's garbage, right? And it's being tacked onto everything nowadays. And I think a lot of people don't like that, especially like your typical consumer. And so, of course, they announce the new person to take over for Phil Spencer is an AI executive at Microsoft. So it's like, I don't know if that was their brightest idea. But Satya Nadella, the head of Microsoft, was he says this person's good, but we'll have to see. And she doesn't even have a gaming background. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. We'll see how it goes, but for me, it's more so just this whole thing yesterday with everyone leaving is like the final nail in the coffin for me at Xbox. I don't think there's much good that's going to come out of this. And if they really push AI into the Xbox Game Studios games and their other exclusives, forget it. This is bad. This is bad. I think they overextended themselves, especially buying all the other studios as well. And it does worry me. With AI now, with an AI executive now getting involved in video games, and especially since they own all these other studios, I wouldn't be surprised if Bethesda started implementing AI voice actors or some other garbage into their games. But yeah, terrible news, I think. But we'll see. We'll see. You know, again, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt, but it's I don't see much good coming from this. But I think that's all it is for me today. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and you can comment in the bottom what you think of this whole situation. Give me some comments down below about your experience with Xbox over the years and what you think of this, and we'll go from there. And I think I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.